Okay, so I've spent the day with Rick Crawford, and I'm finding out that he's got a ton of stories to tell, and plus he's got his old YouTube channel, which I'm sure he's going to be telling these stories on his YouTube channel. So Rick, first of all, tell me, how do we see your YouTube channel?
Well, you can go to Treasure Research and Exploration on YouTube. It's a fairly new channel, probably got about 10 videos up, but like Terry says, I'm just putting my experiences and some of these stories out there on YouTube to share them and kind of relive some of my research and keep people going during these times.
So you was just telling me that you went to school to become an anthropologist.
Yes. And
you was telling me some stories that that you was disappointed in, and it's things that we all hear, and but we don't ever have any real somebody telling us to back these stories up. So tell me your experiences going to school, what happened to you, and just tell me your story.
Well, I had several experiences. One's on a different trip about a different subject about evolution, where I tried to pin down some of my professors about some of the missing link evidence, and they admitted that there wasn't any. And so another experience, though, when I was in the field was we were surveying, we were doing a dig, and in our free time between when we were going back to the dig site, we were surveying, where we would spread out, and we were walking across, and any kind of an artifact or a ruin or anything that looked like part of an old civilization that we were doing this dig on, we would document it on graph paper and put it on the map so that it would be entered into the record, the official record of this archaeological dig. And while we were doing this one day, I found a really cool ball. I thought it was made out of obsidian. It was about the size of a smaller than a tennis ball, but bigger than a golf ball. And at first I thought it was obsidian because it was black and it was almost clear, but later it was determined that it was made out of quartz, so it was what they call smoky quartz. And it had, I call it hieroglyphics, but they were unusual. They weren't Egyptian, but they were unusual.
They weren't your regular Native American. It was something out of place art,
right? An
out of place artifact.
That's right. It didn't look like any petroglyphs, but it had lines and crosses, and then it had little script or writings all around this ball. And I took it to enter into the information, and the lady that was in charge looked at it and she said, "That's really interesting, but we're not going to put that into the record." And I said, "Well, why not? I mean, we found it here. It's obviously not something that some farmer or rancher lost out here. It's older than Native American, and it did, it was down in situ, so it was down just sticking out of the ground a little bit. It wasn't like it was laying on top. And it was also, that smoky quartz was not native to that area, so it had to have been brought in or traded from a long ways away. And so I actually got a little bit upset about it, because I felt like the accuracy of what we're doing, even if it wasn't from this specific culture, that it should be included in this find, because it might have been a trade item or something that was brought in, and it gives us the picture of history. Well, that item was never entered into the record, and it sat on the doctor's desk until he passed away, and now I don't know what happened to it. But I had enough experiences like that where things were not entered into the record
because they were out of place.
Because they were out of place. It didn't fit what they were trying to accomplish, in my opinion, and they couldn't explain how they got there. I was on another site where we found some little copper bells, which is not too unusual, but it still was unusual for where we found them, and they did not enter those into the record on this another dig either. They didn't enter that into the record, and so I got really disenfranchised, kind of upset with what I was seeing, and I actually went into construction after that. I'd almost finished my schooling. I had a job offers from government agencies. I was a licensed surveyor, and I quit anthropology and went into construction because of what I some of the things that I witnessed.
So and that's the stories we hear, is that history is being hidden from us.
Yes, it is.
It's being suppressed from us. And the reason why is crazy. It's just because it doesn't fit the narrative of what they say history should be. And so they just do away with it. And that's
right.
a tragedy. That's a tragedy. You new anthropologist guys that are going to school, don't let them hide history on us.
That's right.
Hey guys, after this interview, I had an hour-and-a-half drive to get home. And while I was driving home, I thought about this, what Rick had said had happened, and the more I thought about it, the madder I got, and it reminded me of when I talked in the late 80s to an older archaeologist who told me that if he came across an out-of-place artifact, he would just bury it up so he didn't have to deal with it. And at the time, I thought that was a travesty. But now what Rick is saying is criminal. You know, if they found something in situ, rather than leaving it there for somebody else to find and take care of, they're taking it out, placing it on a shelf in a dusty box somewhere with no history, no provenience, out of situ. You know, that is a travesty. And that's what they accuse the amateurs of doing. Taking artifacts out of situ so that they can't be studied, so that history is lost, so they cannot document history. If that's going on with just the little what Rick's seen, how many other places or people are seeing this type of stuff? If you have an eyewitness account of this type of things going on, share it with us, please. Do me a favor. If you have a personal, first-hand account of things like this going on, leave a comment and tell us about that experience. Also, I don't know if YouTube likes it or not, but I know I like it if you hit the like button. So hit the like button and share this video on your social media platforms so that more people with stories have a better chance of seeing this and leaving us their stories of what they have seen and what they have first-hand accounts of what's been going on. And also, watch this video more than once so that YouTube will let it be seen by a lot more people. And I thank you in advance, and I look forward to reading some of your stories of the things that have been suppressed or hidden from us.
You know, if enough history is hidden, that changes history. Then we don't have a true picture of what happened.
And with that, Rick, thanks for sharing that, and that's a wrap.